when you look at this screen? You see nothing. So, what would be your initial reaction when you see something like this? You go to someone else where you actually see bright, vibrant colors and texts and distractions. Some may see this as someone is depressed. Some may see this as the fact that it's a cry for help. But if you look past that and actually listen to what's being told to you, you'll see that, as the old saying goes, seeing is not always believing. Your eyes can deceive you into thinking that what you're hearing, what's being told is, oh my goodness, this person is probably down in the dumps. But if you look very closely, so let me just show you this, okay? Let me just show you this. It's gonna blow your mind. It's gonna blow your mind. We are so used to being told that everything's gonna be okay and nothing bad's gonna happen, and just keep believing. And no matter what goes on, we're just like, huh, is there any hope left in this world? Is there any hope left in me? What do I do? What do I do, right? But here's the trick. You have to confuse your own emotions. You have to confuse yourself. So when things are going wrong, yes, you're allowed to be sad. Yes, you're allowed to be upset. But you eventually have to work through it in the darkness. You have to still be a shining light, even when darkness and when turmoil comes your way. Because if you don't, you will be just like everybody else these days. You'll be stuck and trapped in darkness. And your hope will start to fade. Your hope has to come from your own belief that even when things go wrong, they will eventually turn right. And the more you have this belief, you will be able to see past people. You'll be able to see their true colors. You'll be able to see what you need to work on. And most importantly, you'll be able to see how much that you have improved. Just as long as you still have hope. Look at that. You see that? See that glimmer of light? Yeah. It starts off really small. Really, really small. Because life happens when you least expect it. People are easily deceived. They're easily manipulated because they focus more on what's going on rather than what's happening. I've heard many stories, and I continue to hear many tales on people and their depression and how they're just about to lose hope. When you acknowledge your own feelings and let them acknowledge your own feelings, but you still give little bits of hope. See, what I've learned is don't give people too much hope. Give them a little bit. Give them a crumb. Let's see what they do with that crumb. Do they treasure that crumb? Do they treasure this little piece of advice? Just a little. Do they treasure it? And if they come back to you and if they are making little progress, then guess what? Watch this, watch this, watch this. Now look at that. The light's starting to get bigger, isn't it? Now it's starting to get a lot bigger because you not only have given them the crumb, you have also allowed yourself to be grateful for the crumbs of bread, the little pieces of, so the little bits of juice that you have, like the organic juice. So because you were grateful for the little, and because you're still hopeful regardless of what's going on, so you look at your bank account, it's not what you wanted, but you're working towards your goal, and then all of a sudden you're starting to see bit by bit when you stop spending your money on things that you don't need, when you stop hanging around certain people that are not in the best place, and you're just still just giving them hope each and every time you check it on, make sure they're okay, and then you go on about your business. When you do this, you're going to start seeing change. You're going to start seeing how people really are. And then guess what? And no matter what, and no matter what you deal with, and no matter who leads your life, guess what? Look at that. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, that light's getting bigger now. It's getting a lot bigger. It's getting a lot bigger. This light will be as will expand or it will disperse based on how much you're willing to fight through life. And not just fight through, you have to do it with the right attitude. Not a perfect attitude, the right attitude. The right attitude is I will allow myself to state that this is terrible. I allow myself to say that this is awful, but I'm still going to keep finding a way to still brighten this light. And when people see that you have this light, they're going to follow you. Now, this is what people and even the rich seem to falter for every time I see this. People think they are doing a good job. Because I remember Elder told me this. Because they have a bunch of people following them. They think that they're doing an excellent job because they have 60,000 or 60 million people like their stuff saying, oh, I love you and all that stuff. If you really want to see how much you're actually doing, talk to your people. Talk to your friends. Tell them, what is it that you like and dislike about my work? Where is it that I can improve? Give them surveys and you will see just how much they actually care about your work or how much they truly want to see you grow. And when you start seeing that critical feedback, then all of a sudden it's like, ooh, look at that. Ooh, you're starting to feel hopeless, aren't you? They start saying that your stuff isn't good. They start saying that, oh man, you fell off and whatnot. But I just don't say that because, oh, you're a good person. But when you allow people to critique you, when you allow people to, state what they need to say, and when you are open-minded, and when you just say, you know what, you're right, and when you admit to your faults, look at that. Ooh, oh, look at that. Oh, wow, that glimmer of hope is still there. And even when you deal with death, and even when you deal with abandonment, and even when you deal with some of the worst parts of your life, as long as you maintain your focus and that positive attitude, look at that. Wow, that light is so bright. So do you know what this means? That even in your moments of depression, that light is going to speak to you. It's going to bring up memories that are wonderful and well known. And it's going to continue to increase that light. It's just going to increase. It's just going to make it bigger and bigger and bigger. And woo, look at that. Woo, now that light is so bright that nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop you now. Look at that. You are unstoppable. You're going to deal with moments where that light shrinks. You're going to deal with moments where that light, like it expands and when it disperses. But let me tell you something. It can never fully go away because even when your light source, your glimmer of hope tends to fade slowly and it starts to get smaller, smaller, smaller. As long as you just have a little, and as long as you're continuing to work towards life, each day, each week, each month, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's going to be those moments in life where it's so big that no negative thought, no ounce of racism, no ounce of stereotypes, no ounce of someone saying they love you and then they start, trying to find ways to break your heart. None of that's going to stop you because look at this glimmer and light of hope. Look at that. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, why'd you say all this? It's so confusing, man. I swear your streams just don't make any sense. That's perfectly fine. The topic of the stream was going to be about the cartoon VTuber thing, but I figured I'm going to hold off on that because I've been dealing with some technical issues. I'm going to hold off on that if y'all don't mind. So I'll talk about that another time. My main focus is I want to talk to people about the biggest relationship killers. And I would love to have some music playing in the background, but you know how YouTube is. There are a lot of relationship killers. And I'm only just going to give out just a few things that kill any relationship. Okay? Y'all ready? Because this is something that continues to happen. And this is not just for those that are in love. This is not, for those who have friends. This is for just in general. And we are all guilty of this. And relationship killers destroy, slowly but surely, it destroys our sense of hope, and it destroys, give me a sec, it destroys, look at that. It destroys this. All the pain, all the suffering, all the trauma. It just makes this smaller and smaller and smaller. So what causes this light to be so small? Well, I'm here to tell you. As Elder Ron Carpenter would say, I just call him Elder because he's very wise. What you don't talk to dies. I didn't believe this because I thought that, oh, that's silly. But then I thought about it, and it's true. What you don't talk to dies. It's just that simple. Like, you could try to research it, do science and whatnot, and we're not going to do that right now at the moment because I got other things I need to take care of, today. But when a baby is first born, and when you talk to it, it gives it life. There's a beautiful article about that, and I forgot which part of the brain that it activates, but it gives off life. And the more love that you give something, the more it grows and it lives. It's just like with a plant. When you properly take care of the plant and you make sure that you that's under the right soil, and you're watering it properly based on the type of flower it is, the type of seed it is, it will grow into something beautiful. But you have to do that every single day. People forget that taking care of yourself is reminiscent to taking care of a garden. And this is an old school example, but so people forget that when you just let anything into your garden, it can rot it out. And I understand where it's just like, oh, that's not necessarily true when it comes to people. Well, yeah, true, but just hear me out. Let's just focus on you. When you plant your garden and it's peaceful, right? Then all of a sudden you start inviting all of these people and whatnot. And I'm talking about inviting people who just don't mean you any good. What happens to your garden? Weeds start to spread. So you're not talking to yourself and saying, is this right or anything? And you probably dealt with a situation where you didn't deal with people who pretty much talk to you properly. So you just allow anything and everything just to come into your life. Now you got all these weeds, and now the communication starts to falter. Now you don't know who you can trust. You don't know who you can talk to. So the good relationships start to die. The bad relationships, well, they fade because, they feel like you ain't doing enough for them. What you don't talk to dies. So if you want to kill and destroy anything, just stop talking to it. I'm not talking about like, no, honestly, I am. And that's just the unfortunate truth. If you don't talk to it, it dies. Again, sometimes that's not always the case, but truth of the reality is we don't have a lot of friends. We have a lot of acquaintances, we have a lot of constituents, but we don't have a lot of friends because friends, that's work. That's hard work. You gotta talk. You gotta communicate. You gotta get to know people. You gotta know they're good. You gotta know they're bad, and that can drain a person if they're not careful and they don't know how to deal with said people. You got to take things slow. So remember that. I thank Pastor Ron Carpenter for reminding us of that. Having the heavens, tell him to tell all of us about it because it's true. What you don't talk to dies. If you stop talking to your dog and your cat, well, guess what? They start becoming depressed. They feel like you don't love them. It's the same principle here. So what you don't talk to, it dies. Second relationship killer, rushing. We all fall in love. We all want to be loved. But if you don't take steps to getting to know people, you're going to be hurt. You're going to be in a situation where you're out with your girl, your boy, whatever. And again, I mean this for an 18 plus, like those are age of 18, onwards. But I get it's like, well, why do people say that's my girl, that's my boy, when that's pretty much equated to, I don't know, man. I don't know. People are people. I was always taught to say man, woman, or man, woman, or if they're not man, woman, just call them by their name. But anyway, that's besides the point. So, you're just chilling with your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatnot, and then all of a sudden they start having eyes for someone else. You notice this type of behavior, but yet this person said that they love you. The truth's right there. You rushed it. You did something to set this person off. It's not to find someone else. You have to be patient. I don't care if it takes a year. I don't care if it takes 6 years. If you truly love this person, you got to be patient and you have to test the relationship. Otherwise, it's just words. It's just words. That's all it is, just words. Don't rush. Don't rush the love. Don't rush the conversations. Don't rush it. Enjoy each moment. Take pictures. Respect boundaries. Don't, don't try to, make someone do something that they don't want to do. You gotta really treasure the time. But if you rush it, you destroy it. You can rush it by sending pics you're not supposed to send. You can rush it by having certain talks with someone, being overly sexual. These are the ways how you could destroy any type of relationship. You got to slow it down. Just talking about the same thing over and over again, but not changing the subject can also destroy a relationship. You gotta mix it up a bit. Which brings me to another thing that can destroy a relationship is repetition. Too much of it can lead to boredom. If you are someone that's just a workhorse, they'll always talk about work. Sometimes just bring up another topic. Talk about a funny news story. Or I don't know what they call it these days, memes. Talk about a meme. Talk about a TV show. Talk about a new word that you learned and how you apply it to your life. Just there's always different ways to start up a conversation. It doesn't always have to be the same thing. One thing that I've learned, for Yashahu is you don't always have to ask how you doing. You could just say, have you eaten today? How's the weather? Hopefully you didn't fall out of bed. You gotta make the conversation interesting. And if you don't know, then just be around more people. IRL and on social media. They will show you how to engage in conversation that's different. Unfortunately, if you're like me, or you're a Virgo, and you pretty much are overly manly, and you just have to just say, hey, how you doing, whatnot. It's not a bad thing. Just be a little bit more creative. I had to learn that the hard way, so it's okay. Not tending to your trauma and your problems. Constantly bringing up your problems, constantly bringing up your trauma destroys a relationship quicker than you could ever. I'm not saying that you can't talk about it, But if it's constant, your future lover's gonna get tired of it. You're gonna get tired of it, and then before you know it, there's nothing there. I'm not saying that you have to be positive all the time, which would be nice, but you have to time when to talk about this stuff. If the relationship consists of you every time when you talk to someone, talking about how bad your day was, say goodbye to that relationship. Say goodbye. If your conversation consists of the fact that you're talking about that you're drinking all the time and that you hate yourself, say goodbye to that relationship. Those people still love you, but they're not going to be around you. You have to be very wise with your words. Even if you are drinking, don't talk about that. That's between you and your therapist. That's between you and your family member. But you don't say that to someone that you just met. You keep that to yourself. Your demons, you got to fight on your own with people that you could trust. Because if you tell anybody else to help fight your demons, they could be as demonic as you, and then they can make the situation worse. You got to know who you can talk to about that stuff. Your trauma, you say that for your llama that will love you, your llama that could be representative of whoever you want it to be. Save your trauma for your llama. It is just a phrase. It means save it for someone that truly will care about it. You need to save for someone that's going to help you. Llamas are caring creatures, caring animals. So whoever you relate to a llama, that's who you say that for. And even if you overdo it with them, you can destroy it. You have to learn coping mechanisms. Good, healthy, positive. That's why I talk to people all the time. Like, did you work out? Did you exercise? Did you hydrate? And most of them will tell me, I don't feel like I this. And then I look at them. I say, well, that's why you're in that position, because you're not even caring for yourself. I was talking to someone, and you know, and they was telling me how bored they was, and I said, okay, well, do you, I just told them, hey, I clean my room. They're like, oh, I don't clean my room, and I'm like, well, take it from me, just do it little by little. See, back in the day, I would have been like, you don't clean your room? No, because it's understandable. Your room can be however you want it to be. The only rule is it can't be too messy, and you can't have a bunch of food everywhere, because that can cause roaches and rodents, and that's not good. Your room has to be clean to a point where I and whoever you want to quote unquote marry or date has to at least be able to see and walk through. If you got little clothes, like laying around here and stuff and whatnot, that's fine, but it can't be excessive. You know what I mean? Because that sends a very negative message. It sends a strong negative message that you don't care about yourself. When you dirty up your room and you don't allow yourself to clean yourself up, you're showing that you don't care about yourself. I don't care who you are. You can wear whatever you want, but it has to be clean. That's just my motto. It has to be clean, because you are pretty much showing people how much you care about yourself through your room and through your body. Your body is a representation of showing how much you actually care and love yourself. And you have to understand this. If you don't care and love yourself and you're trying to date somebody, that's more responsibility on that person. Does that make sense? And that's another thing that can destroy a relationship: laziness. Oh, y'all didn't like that. I'm not saying you can't have a lazy day. It's okay to have a lazy day. You hear me? It is okay to have a lazy day, but it is not okay to have a lazy day every day. You got to move your body. Your body has to move. Your body has to do something. Your body has to be active. Your body needs fresh air. Your body needs water. Your body needs food. Your body needs to move. It can't just sit and do nothing. The only time you're allowed to be lazy like that is if you're really sick. Other than that, you gotta get your tuchus up and do something. You can't sit around doing it. You can never say that you're bored. There's no such thing as bored. There's always something to do. You can learn a new formula. You can practice art. You can read a book. You can watch a funny video and then talk about what you learned from that video. There's VR chat. You can play games, and then afterwards you can take a little hour break and use that hour to work out, and exercise. Take a shower. If you have a pet, go take care of your pet. Go clean your house. There's always something to do. Write a list of things to do that you need to do. Sign up for a class. There is always something to do. Don't you ever deceive yourself in saying that you're bored, because there's always something that you can do. When a person says they're bored, they are being deceived. Boredom is not real. It is just a state of the mind. You have to open your mind just a little bit more, and you will never, ever be bored. Do not allow yourself to be lazy. It is a trick. That one time that you allow yourself to be lazy, it's hard to break. When you're older, it's hard to break. You have to train yourself to have something to do every single day. That's why there's a thing called work. After work, and then you discipline yourself to exercise, you discipline yourself to eat, either 5 or 6 small meals, or three medium-sized meals. But you have to work your body. Not overexert yourself, but you have to work your body, because it's very important. Again, what you do for yourself shows how much you care about yourself. And when you care about yourself so much, and you love yourself, and you're willing to try in life, even as much as you try, it doesn't lay you to the big time, someone is going to admire that, and they're going to want to date you because you try. And that's another thing that can destroy a relationship, not trying anymore. And constantly always talking about your failures. Everybody failed. Everybody has some level of failure. Every single person. Every single person. That person that you've seen succeeding with 100,000 followers, they have moments of failure. They probably failed more times than you. Those folks that work out and they're able to do 500 diamond push-ups, they had to fail. Their arms probably hurt. They probably was screaming to the top of the lungs saying, I don't want to do this no more. But they pushed themselves and they was able to get it done. They trained themselves in a way that no normal human would do. They kept trying. You don't have to do what they do. You just have to try. Your limits are your limits. You want to break those limits? That's up to you. You break those limits. But never, ever, 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 ever tell yourself to stop trying. Me speaking Chinese, I think I kind of screwed up on the how are you part, but guess what? I at least try. I'm trying. I'm making an attempt. And that's why I have, friends and acquaintances for so many different, cultures and races and sexualities that are willing to give me a chance because they see that I try. And not only do I try, I make progress. You have to try. You can't always keep relying on the big timers to keep giving you advice. Sometimes you got to look for the advice on your own. They're going to do their thing. They're going to do their thing, mind their own business. They're going to tell you, oh, you can do it. Just keep believing in yourself. But they're not going to take the time to actually teach it because they're going to look at you and say, Google it. That's their favorite word. I know because when I ask them questions, that's all they tell me. Google it. Go Google it. Oh, Google's your best friend. Google. And I've already talked about my thoughts on that type of statement. But, they're right, but at the same time, they're wrong. Can't Google everything. Sometimes you need someone to actually take the time to want to teach you, but you have to be teachable. And that's another relationship killer. Not wanting to be teach. Always having an attitude just because someone wants to help you. I know what to do. There you go. That's how you destroy a relationship. That's how you destroy opportunities because you don't want to be taught anything. So because you don't want to be taught anything, then you won't go far. Don't ever, 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 ever think that you got it all made in shape. Don't ever, ever, ever deceive yourself thinking that you know what you're doing. You don't. You need help. When it comes to a relationship, ask for help. When it comes to practicing anything, ask for help. Ask for help. Ask for help. I don't care if you worked a job for 4 years or you've been part of this career for 10 years. Ask for help. Look at the entertainment industry, how it's just crumbling on itself and it's just burning because of all the high, egotistical, levels from individuals and whatnot. Ask for help. You know what? I've been doing this for 20 years, but something's just not clicking right. Let me go talk to another director and get a little bit of their wisdom before they pass on. Let me talk to them. Even if I gotta pay them, let me get some of their wisdom. Let me form a relationship, even if it's a temporary one. Let me get some of that sweet, sweet knowledge. Allow yourself to be teachable. Another relationship killer is racism. Oh, it got quiet now when I said that. It got real quiet. Everybody loves to make their race jokes, but let me tell you something. Deep down, it hurts. People won't tell you because they don't want to be shown as a snowflake, but people mostly don't like race jokes. They leave it to the professionals to do it. A person that states a bunch of race jokes all the time is not a genuine person. That is a person that has been hurt. I've met people who do that, and I'm telling you right now, behind closed doors, they are hurting individuals, and they actually truly hate the race that they're talking about over and over and over again. They need help. They need to seek a professional to help break down why they hate this particular race. That destroys any and all relationships. I don't care if you are friends with another racist friend. Even that racist friend even has boundaries and limits. Racism hurts. Racism kills. Don't at me. It always has and it always will, whether if it's a joke or whether if it's not. It always kills, it always destroys. Why do you think in so many groups or in so many clubs or in so many group events IRL that there's that rule? No racism. Why? Because it kills. Slowly. Very slowly. Oh, it's funny. I laugh. Yeah, we laugh because we can't believe that people could be that ignorant. That's why we laugh. We don't laugh because it's funny. We laugh because we're just in disbelief. There's a difference between when certain people like myself laugh and when others laugh. It's laughter because it's confusion. It's laughter because they can't believe that stuff like this would even exist. But if you were to state that same joke at your job, you're gonna that boss gonna be laughing all right, give you a pink slip. Don't be deceived and fooled by what your current president is allowing you to do. You think you're getting away with it, but years later, it's going to come back and bite you. You're going to have that one business opportunity that you've been wanting since you was a kid, but you let it all fall down because you let one person tell you it was okay, but then it all changed in a quick matter of time. 4 years can go by. Just letting you know that right now. I'm just letting you know that right now. So y'all have fun with y'all racist jokes. It's going to come back and bite you years later. You got to be very careful with your words. You got to be very careful because karma is a thing. And I keep telling people this. I have folks that come to me all the time crying, I got banned, I got kicked. I just look at them like, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Boy, I can't believe that you got banned. What? You? I just look at them. I just shake my head. It's like, yeah, I can't believe it. And I just stay quiet. Some people you just can't. You just gotta shake your head at. That's all you can do. But if you ever want to destroy a relationship, state a bunch of race jokes. They'll probably find it funny, but do it every day and watch your wife, your future wife, your future husband is gonna go off on you. State a racist joke at a serious moment, a serious, convention or a serious, event, and watch and see if you don't get cussed out like never before. Do that at a church and see what happens. Time and place for everything. Time and place for everything. Another relationship killer is you joke and play around too much. It's okay to play around. It's okay to joke. But if you do it all the time, that person is going to treat you like COVID. 6 feet. You got to have a balance. You can't joke all the time. There are just some moments where you have to take seriously because that person is hurting and they need someone to comfort them and to help them and to guide them and to build them back up. But if you got to make a joke about everything, then that person is just going to look at you and say, that will be the last time that I come to you and tell you anything, because you violated a boundary and you destroyed their trust. You can't always joke about everything. Some things you just can't joke about. Technically, you can, technically speaking, logically, you can joke about everything, but not everybody's going to see it as a joke. One of the things that you should never ever joke about is someone's death. That is a line that you just cannot cross. You cross it, people are just going to look at you. They'll laugh, but they're just going to look at you and be like, yeah, I'm not inviting them to a family funeral of mine. You don't understand. Some people don't have to get in your face. They don't have to tell you. They literally will just look at you. And the next time that, you wonder why you're not getting invites to this, invites to that, it's because of how you acted years ago. This is what I mean by karma. You think you're getting by. You think that you can just, be slick. But over time, that's going to catch up to you. You think that you're being slick by treating certain people a certain way because you're big time. But over time, that is going to come back and bite you. Just ask the many celebrities who thought that they were untouchable. Brock Lesnar was put in a serious situation where he couldn't even be part of the WWE for a bit. And thank goodness, somehow, through some miracle, he's back. I guarantee that man did a lot of praying and fasting. You gotta be careful. Gotta be very, very, very careful. I got three more relationship killers, and then I'm gonna pretty much conclude this string because I think y'all get it. Not listening. You have to listen. Don't ever be in a situation where you make it where you can't allow yourself to listen and be taught. There you go. There goes the end of that relationship. You gotta listen. You gotta listen to when a person's having a bad day. You gotta listen to when they're not having a bad day. You gotta, you know, again go back to the first one. Communicate. What you don't talk to dies. You gotta communicate back. In other words, stop ghosting people that didn't do anything wrong to you, and stop making your disability an excuse as to why that you do it. I have so many people that come to me and talk about they want to do collabs, they want to do this and this, and I'm sitting here, while I'm doing me and I'm done with everything, and I'm just waiting for a DM. So guess what? So when they tell me that, I'm just like, okay. I don't be like, oh yeah, it's gonna happen. I'm like, oh no. I just simply say, okay. You gotta understand, I dealt with a lot of disappointment, you know, as well during my childhood. So I know how to deal with it. So if it doesn't happen, I just move on with my day. Oh, okay, they're not gonna get on, VR, after I, went out of my way to take care of all of my plans and everything. Okay, fine, whatever. I'm gonna do me. I'm going back to my to-do list. Let me stream. Let me do this. Let me learn some Chinese. Let me exercise a little bit more. Let me check on my dog. Let me go clean part of the house. There's some extra work, yard work I need to do. I always keep myself busy. If I do a collab and that person decides, oh, this collab is terrible, I'm not doing it because I found someone else better, guess what? I don't care. I did my part and I'm moving on. Listen to what people are telling you, and you will not have to deal with so much headache, heartache, and destruction. Another relationship killer is your addiction. If you don't get that addiction under wraps, you will destroy that relationship. Work on it each day slowly. Do not try to eliminate it quickly, because if you eliminate it quickly, you will relapse. You eliminate it quickly and you didn't learn as to why you had that addiction in the first place, you will relapse. And you're going to destroy any and all relationships that you touch. And the worst offender, you'll be called the most heinous thing by some person that you don't even know. Be very careful. I don't care if that same person is into the things that you like. You got to take it slow. Unless that person says, yes, show me everything, don't you do it. You keep yourself as secretive as possible. I don't care. You let the people ask you about you. They don't ask you about you, then guess what? It's none of their business. Not everybody deserves to know everything about you, because they will not know how to deal with someone like you. You are a rare treasure. You are a gem. You are a rarity. You are something that people cannot find. You are not like the norm of the typical rich person. You are different. And people are going to search everywhere for you. You ever heard of that one artist that makes this one song that's popular in the video game and whatnot, and you try to find the name of that person, you can't remember, so you have to look through the lyrics, and you can't look through the lyrics because the YouTube algorithm or the TikTok algorithm or whatnot makes it impossible for you to find that particular artist unless you know their name, and then you realize that that person that you thought was big wasn't all that big anyway. They just made a big grand hit, and you can't find a big grand hit because you're trying to search through the algorithm. That's what I mean by rare. When you find that one poem that you was introduced to in school, you try to find that name, you forgot that name, so you try to search everywhere for that name, search everywhere through those lyrics, and then you find that one person. That's what I mean by rare. Don't ever kid yourself into thinking that, oh, this person has to be rich or to be recognized. No. The rich will deceive you into thinking that you have to be like this in order to be known, in order to be successful. Your success comes from whatever your heart truly desires and your happiness. And as long as you got enough money where you can be able to help yourself and help others, then guess what? To me, that's a success. When you cement your legacy in a way that impacts the world, that, in my opinion, is success. And when you do it in a way where you don't have to hurt others, then that, to me, is a legend. So make sure you do a lot more listening. It will save you. Another relationship killer that I noticed, um, and this is definitely a big one, it's the lack of self-care. If you can't take care of yourself, then all that responsibility goes onto your lover. I talked about this, but I had to make this really clear. You have to have some form of independence, or unless you deal with someone who is very loving and kind, they're going to get burnt out, tired, and want to break up with you. And let's just put this in a friendship, perspective. It's the same thing. Or put this in a caregiver. If you can't show that you can have some level where you can take care of yourself, people are going to eventually just leave you. Oh, they'll do it. They'll do it. But they're going to have some nasty things to say about you behind your back, naturally speaking, because they're tired. That's why my job on the weekends, I tell myself, zip, zip. Nope. If it ain't positive, I ain't saying it. What do you think about this person? Oh, they're just probably a little bit disgruntled, just had a bad day. They're just dealing with a lot. And, the thoughts in their head could just be due to a change in their medication. We don't really know, but as long as they're safe, that's all that matters. I will never tell any of those residents how I feel about another resident, because they all are friends at the end of the day. Hey, man, you got a cigarette? Give them a cigarette. There you go. People talk. Be very careful what you say about another VTuber. Be very careful what you say about another government official, especially in the Trump administration, because they all work together. You say one thing about this person, you don't know who's listening in. They say something, and all of a sudden, before you know it, now you're dealing with a lot. What I'm trying to say is you got to care for yourself. Care for yourself mentally, emotionally, and physically. You got to keep your anger under control. You got to keep your health under control. You got to keep your physicality under control. That's what attracts people to you, because you keep it under control. Even when there's moments where you can't, only let them see you sweat under emergency cases, and don't ever abuse that. You gotta, as they say, fake it till you make it. It hurts, but you gotta do it. And the relationship will be a lot stronger when you only reveal when you're really hurt to someone that you trust in case of an emergency. But don't be foolish. If you're hurting, you're hurting. But you gotta be very cautious. You understand this is a cold, cruel world, and this cold, cruel world will rip you to pieces. Another thing that will destroy a relationship is being uneducated. If you're not willing to learn something new each day, you can forget it. That relationship will be destroyed. It doesn't matter if you have a six-pack and you have the chiseled chin and you're able to bench press 5 tons. If you can't read, if you can't pay bills, if you can't drive, if you can't educate yourself on something, that lover, that friend of yours is going to look at you and be like, are you serious? You got to at least, going back to what I stated before, you got to try. It's hard, I know. You got to try. If you have a friend that talks a lot about science, pick up a book, read one chapter a day on whatever topic they're talking about. Make it fun. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to know about every formula that they know. Just let them know that you're at least willing to understand what they understand. That's going to make the relationship a lot stronger because you're trying. You don't have to know everything. You just have to try. Your Indian friend speaking a different language, learn their language day by day. And before you know it, you'll be able to speak just like them. Try. Never fall for it. You don't have to do it. Just do it. There's so much that can destroy a relationship. And I believe I already gave you some tips on what to do. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the last big whammy on what destroys a relationship. The biggest factor of what destroys every relationship, next to not communicating, next to cheating, next to not being honest, next to breaking boundaries, the biggest one of them all that destroys any relationship. And I definitely need some claps and a drum roll, please. Copying negative examples. Copying stereotypes, copying negative examples. You want to destroy a relationship? Try comparing your relationship to a cartoon and anime. You can be inspired by, but try doing that and watch and see that relationship just dissipate so quickly. One of the dangerous things about role play is when you design the relationship around that. When you design your personality around a copyrighted character, you have to have a personality of your own, goals and mindset of your own. If you have no type of identity, that relationship is going to be gone over time. When you try to copy making love to someone because you saw it on a video, inspired, yes, but when you see it in a video, you do it word by word, play by play. It's not real. It's fake. When you try to form a friendship based off of this anime that you watch, and it's not based off of real experiences you went through personally, it's fake. You have to have your own personality, your own character. You have to have something that you can say, yes, this is real because I made it real. And when you follow these steps on how to not destroy a relationship, look at how much hope. Look, wow, look at all that hope that you have now. You have to continuously educate yourself, better yourself, love yourself, even when it hurts, even when you deal with drama, even when you deal with trauma, even no matter what, you still have to be this bright light that shines brighter than everybody else. So much so to the point that you'll even attract those that are quote unquote bigger than you. And then they'll start to envy you because you're different from them. Look at how bright that light is now. Look at that. All because you were able to reveal what you need to work on, and now you're working on it slowly but surely. And even in the moment's darkest times of this life, that light will be impossible to be dispersed or dim. Because you want to know why? Because you have so much hope, and you instill this in you every day, even when you're sad, even when you're mad, even when you're dealing with a lot, because you constantly keep instilling yourself with so much love and positivity and care. Even when you're hurting, even when you cuss and all that stuff, that light is still going to be right there. And even when you're sad and depressed, that light is still going to be shining bright. It's going to be a little dim, but it's going to go back to being bright again. Because you constantly keep working on yourself, you constantly keep loving yourself, and you constantly keep instilling not just hope to others, but to yourself. I was supposed to do a conclusion to my three-parter stream. Well, actually, it was already concluded, but to do like a bonus round where I talked about the cartoon VTubers, and of course, react to the Fatal Fury City, the Wolves, you know, DLC debacle. But something told me, no, do this instead. And that's exactly what I did. Relationships are powerful. Relationships are meaningful. And relationships can only grow if you allow them to grow. You cannot be that type of person who just reads research and don't actually apply to what you have researched and learned. There are so many hurting people, it is unreal. There are so many people who are giving up, it is unreal. Do not let what happened during that election stop you from having hope. Do not let what the people on, YouTube and all these social media sites talking about, oh, this is all part of some big grandmaster scheme. Don't let them distract you. Learn from them. If they say something ignorant, shake your head. If they say something intelligent, just say, you know what, you make a good point. But do not stay stuck in their world of delusion. And this also goes for those who, miss the whole point of why everything's happening. Same thing. You have to know who you are. You have to know the truth. And your heart will tell you if it's the truth. You will be able to tell a spade from a spade. A joker from a trickster. You'll be able to tell the difference between what's sweet and what's sour. But you have to allow yourself to be open. Being open means you're going to be exposed to some things that you're not going to like. But you have to be teachable. And let me tell you something. You want to know why people like me end up by themselves? Because this journey is pain. No one likes this. No one likes this because doing all this requires the fact that you have to be alone at times. You have to meditate. You have to have moments where only certain people come to you. It's easy just to do what everyone else wants you to do and form all of these relationships because, oh, we have one thing in common. That's a shallow relationship. An open, beautiful, powerful relationship is one that accepts the good, accepts the bad, works to the good, works to the bad, and also has a plan of action where it still is wonderful. Understand this. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If it's not meant to be, whatever. If you get blocked and banned by somebody, I got to speak in these terms. See, back in my day, we used to say this. If a person doesn't want to be your friend anymore, or someone's being mean to you, now I got to use the terminology of if someone blocks and bans you, oh well. See, I have to speak in the terminology of this generation. I can no longer state the terms of, oh, someone kicks you out of the bar or someone kicks you out of a church or whatnot. Now it has to be, in the terms of how this new generation is. And good morning, Jeremy. How you doing? I hope you're having a fantastic day. You're hydrating, you're eating, and you're just enjoying your life. I'm pretty much technically almost done with this stream. You missed out on some things, but it's okay. I'm just glad that you're here. We're just talking about relationship killers and what we can do to pretty much mend those relationships back to where they need to be. So I just want people to remember that, that there are ways to mend relationships. Oh, and my big one, my favorite one, the one that destroys any relationship is unforgiveness. So many people I meet, so unforgiving, so mean, just awful to one another. I hear it all the time. Oh, I can't stand this person. I can't. Just a bunch of hatred in their heart. I can't stand this person. I can't wait till this person drops dead. I hope they fall down a bunch of steps and break their neck. All of this that I hear, and this comes from saved people. The ones that be like, oh, praise thee, how you doing? All of that comes from mostly them. And that's just mind-boggling to me. You would think it would come from someone that's not saved. No, it comes from mostly the saved people that act like this. Like, I want this person to lose their house and what. I'm like, what? No, no, no. And listen, I get it. I get it, but at the same time, I don't get it. Because the one thing that always trips me out is how a lot of y'all have been thinking about this administration like clockwork. And you're just giving the MO to all of these other YouTubers who feel off of the anger of the people just to get their little views and money, talking about, oh, look at how the American people, look how they reacted to this. It's just the level of unforgiveness is shockingly scary. So much so that I have to look in the mirror and ask myself, if I have any type of level of unforgiveness, I want it rooted out of me. I just want it rooted out of me because that is just unreal. I hear this all the time during breakups. They say stuff like, "Oh, I just can't forgive this person. This person just hurt me so bad," and it's just, I get it, but sad to see that they're going to pretty much ruin your life forever because they live in your head rent free. And I know I talk about this a lot, but when you think about it, when you see the news, this school shooting and this and oh, look what this psychopathic killer did to this family and oh, look at how these wrestlers treat each other IRL and all this, and when you listen closely to the interviews, when you pretty much put all the professional jargon aside, it relates to one thing: unforgiveness. So unforgiving. Go back and watch some of your favorite movies on why some of these characters are unforgiveness. Oh, I'm mad because you took this from me. I'm mad because you did that. And it's just goodness. I think, in my opinion, next to not communicating what I feel like, and of course, basing your relationship, off of a TV show or whatnot, or having no identity, I honestly think that that's probably one of the biggest killers of any relationship. It's not just not forgiving that person; it's not forgiving yourself, which also affects the fact that you're not caring for yourself. Unforgiveness kills slowly. You gotta let it go. If you don't, consider yourself dead already. All right, it's been an hour. My time's up. If y'all have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know. Uh, I don't know when I'm gonna do that one stream about the cartoon VTubers. If you like, I could go ahead and just play it, and you can react to it. Just get it on over with while I go and eat. So I could just do that if y'all want. But I'm done talking. The rest is up to you all. Much love. Take care. Be safe. And then once this 45-minute talk about cartoon VTubers is up, I'll say it once more. The rest is up to you. There's one thing that, my father always told me. He always say stuff like, I can't keep holding your hand. I can't keep, it's just like, I can't. And as much as it hurts, they're right. They're right. They're right. It's so true and it hurts, but it's true. There's only so many times that someone can hold your hand. It's only so many times. And I wish somebody would have told me that, you know, during the many times that I tried to help certain people. You're holding their hand, and I would be like, "Oh, am I? My bad. I'm just trying to help them." You say you're helping them, but you're actually, you're not. And I used to be so mad. I'd be like, "How dare you say that? How dare you say that I'm doing this?" They were telling the truth. They were telling the truth. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do this real quick, and need my glasses. It's gonna be pretty sloppy, so I do apologize in advance. I'm just kind of just throwing all of this here real quick. I hope y'all are having a good one. So yeah, after this will be it. Ah, it's so unorganized. I don't like that, but so many cartoons. There we go. I think this is good. Holy crud. Ah! Holy crud. Alright, anyway. Back to here. Back here.
Talked about the
Hang on. Back here. Okay. 3, 2, 1, and
So we talked about the furry fandom, we talked about the brony fandom, we even talked about the wrestling sports community. I stated my pros and cons and my experience with each of these fandoms, and I still love them all with all my heart. But there's one community that I still love, but I'm always confused by. You thought anti-furries and anti-bronies were bad? No. No, 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 no. May I introduce to you to the next evolution of VTubers? And of course, to a community that has existed since the dawn of the age of the entertainment industry. Cartoon and just cartoons. We're not gonna talk about anime. Again, I already stated I'm not gonna do it, just cartoons. Just the cartoon community. Where do I even begin with this community? First off, I'm just going to go ahead and just state one big, major, glaring problem that I have with this community. Remember when I stated that the bronies are judgmental and I stated that the furries are hypocritical? Not all, just just some, maybe most. I don't know. I'm just saying, speaking from my experience. But when it comes to these cartoon streamers, these cartoon VTubers, these cartoon role players, I'm just gonna tell you right now that most of them hate furries and bronies. Ooh, send all the hate messages you want in my DMs. I really do not care. From personal experience, and I tested this fury, literally just going into a furry avatar, and they just start dogpiling me because I'm a furry. Now, of course, there are other folks, shout out to them who pretty much are against this type of behavior. But unfortunately, the big timers behind closed doors will do everything in their power, if they could by law, to eradicate all furries and bronies. They simply do not like us. They don't care that you've liked the same cartoons. They don't care that you come for peace. And they definitely don't care if you're an artist. If you are a furry and brony, they don't want to have anything to do with you. Now, I got lucky to meet some actual nice, sweethearted people that know I'm a furry and brony and still care for me. And even they admit that that's pretty disgusting that I have to deal with that garbage. But would you believe that there is a well-known cartoon VTuber that is big that you probably already know who she is, who pretty much have treated me like dirt, whose name I will not state because I feel bad if I do that I will technically ruin their whole streaming career. So I'm just going to just state this. I was in their server, right? Just minding my own business. And I can't remember what happened, but all I just do recall is that I was just having a conversation and we were just talking about, you know, I don't know, certain characters. Fictional characters, by the way, not actual women. And I said Dexter's mom has really nice thighs. I got a whole lecture from this upcoming big streamer about how I was being disrespectful and how I should be ashamed of myself and how this is what women should look like. And then afterwards, I get banned. not just by this person, by multiple of their cartoon VTube and having friends. Now, I've been holding this in for a long time because I really did not want to talk about this. I wanted to sweep this under the rug, but this needs to be addressed. These cartoon VTubers are dangerous, okay? And again, not all of them are like this, but there are a certain few who act like this, and they act like they are above any and all communities. I don't know what it is with them, but all I'm going to say is be very careful when you join their discords because, man, you say the wrong word. It doesn't matter if you try to apologize, if you try to make things right, if you try to gift them something, it doesn't matter. You are done. You are exiled from their life. And when I say that I have dealt with this on multiple occasions, it's like it honestly somewhat triggers my PTSD when I see a cartoon VTuber and I'm like, oh no, I'm not dealing with this again. But thank goodness for therapy because I don't feel that way anymore. Because I actually happen to be friends with a lot of cartoon VTubers that are actually pretty chill and cool, who happen to not be friends with that certain VTuber whose name I will not state, who I've already forgiven, who I've shouted out for the last time in my Twitch channel. Okay, so that I'm just letting y'all know right now. Most of them, if you talk to them about furries and bronies, they have a negative light against y'all. Just letting you know right now. Just forget it. Good luck. It ain't happening. They just don't care. They don't care. They don't. It doesn't matter if you know the Lord. They do not care. They hate you. They despise you, and they want you dead. And if I'm wrong, then prove it to me that I'm wrong. Because that's what I've been seeing, and it's utterly disgusting. And most of those cartoon VTubers and streamers and whatnot should be ashamed of themselves. They also love to make all of these jokes about furries and bronies too. Some disgusting jokes too as well. And it's just, wow, they call us weird, but here they are pretty much taking it a step further. They'll claim that they used to be a brony. They'll claim that they used to be a furry, but deep down, they do not like you. It's just like trying to convince a Ku Klux Klan member to stop hating black people. It's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. Maybe you'll get lucky, have like maybe a small percentage of them to stop, but the majority just don't like anything that's just not of their race. So it is what it is. I'm not saying that about cartoon VTubers. I'm just saying they just don't like furries and bronies. You're a furry and brony, you are just going to be put on their watch list. Sorry, no matter what you do, they just despise you. Sorry. And if I get in trouble just by stating the truth, then that's fine. I have literally multiple, like instances of proof of this, okay? Just, again, brony, mind our own business. Made a few little oopsie whoopsie mistakes with my words, and instead of being, politely, discuss, having the monster discuss this with me, nah, they just banned me. Avoid their venting channels too, because if you dare try to talk to them, oh, you don't know what I went through. Yeah, so just saying, just avoid venting channels as well. I just had to point that out there. Anyway, let's continue. All they like to do is role play. I'm not joking. I go into like the Sonic instances and whatnot, and they all act like cartoon characters. They act like that they're just part of some episode. Don't get me wrong, it's fun when they do it. But when they don't have like a way to like break apart from the role play, it's just obnoxious. And you want to know who's the worst at this? The big time cartoon streamers. Every time they appear on stream, you don't even see a person anymore. You literally just see a cartoon character. I'm not even joking. It's one of the reasons why I kind of stopped showing up in people's streams, because I get sick and tired of that, where someone always has to be a character. And it's just like, there are a lot of people that I follow that know how to be a character and still be real and still be well known by society. But some of these folks take it way, way, way too far, to the point that even probably some of the hell of a boss that has been hotel voice actors are like, good golly, like, get a grip, kid. Like, it's just, man, they role play way too much. It's fine every now and then, but if you don't have like a way to balance it out, it's just pretty bad. It just shows a lot of mental instability, and a lot of them aren't really mentally stable. Unfortunately, I've met a few of them. It's pretty disheartening. Again, I met some really cool ones that I'll never forget, but most of them just act this way. Why? I don't know. I wish they would just, communicate their feelings more so that way we don't have to deal with this type of psychotic behavior from these folks. Remember when I stated that they don't like furries and bronies? Oh, trust me, they'll go out of their way to tag team ban you. If you get banned for one, you get banned from most of them. I remember getting banned for one, two, three, four of this big, cartoon streamers, channels. And it's like, what do they gain from this? Because that person is, partner, and they're still trying to reach partner. I don't understand the logic of trying to follow the herd, but whatever. So I'm just letting you know that right now, if you get banned by one person, you're just done. You're just screwed. You might as well just quit VTubing and just do something else or change your character because you are done. Doesn't matter if you didn't do anything wrong. If they don't like you and they want you exiled, they will do it. Oh, and by the way, what makes this even funnier is if, let's just say you follow this one cartoon streamer that's cool with you and likes you, all that one person has to do is just state some terrible, nasty rumor about you that's not even true. And guess what? You're banned from their stream. And you're banned from that person's stream, and that person's stream, and that person's stream, and that person's stream, and that person's stream. You guys are awesome. You thought the furries were bad with this? Oh, the cartoon VTubers are worse. They literally are like a cult, and they will join forces just to have you banned on anywhere that they can. And they find any type of ammo against you, you're just done. You are screwed. You might as well just call it quits, man. Ain't no stopping them. And if you try to report them, oh, they're harassing me. Yeah. Be very careful of these people, okay? And I'm surprised that a lot of people aren't even talking about this. I don't know if it's because they're scared or they're just unaware that this happens in their community because they think, oh, we are just so superior to the furries and bronies. There's barely any drama, and we're just such a wholesome SFW community. Oh, they pride themselves. This is number 3. They pride themselves in being SFW all the time. They brag about it. Join their Discord. They brag about it all the time. We are an SFW safe community. We are a safe community. We are an SFW safe community. We are just such a safe community, guys. We are just so safe. Oh my goodness. These people make me want to throw up all over the place. Like, you can't guarantee 100% safety. Like, any person that says this garbage to me, I'm going to question. I'm going to test it. Like, if I have to be that person that's like, all right, I'm going to have one of my old friends that used to do stuff they weren't supposed to, have them test the server out to see how safe it really is. And then how you react to it. And if you start freaking out, having a mental breakdown, then you're not ready for this. You are not ready for this. Like, safe? I thought the VisiPop official Discord server was terrible. And listen, love you, VisiPop, but oh my goodness. That server on top of Iron Mouse's, whoo! And listen, love these folks. They're amazing. They're awesome. I understand why they got to do this. But it's like, I feel like I can't even move or talk or anything. I remember when I was in these servers and when I tried to even speak, I thought I was going to get banned just for saying hi, banned. Like that's how, uncomfortable I felt. Like I just felt like locked and constrained, and I didn't know where I could talk or type, and it was so confusing, such a headache. So I just left. I think one of them I pretty much got kicked for inactivity. Thank goodness, and I don't want to be back. I really do not want to be back in a server like that where I am that restricted. That's ridiculous. On one hand, I get it because you have minors in the server and you're supposed to be family friendly. But on the other hand, it's just kind of silly to me. Like, oh my goodness, get a grip. pride yourself on being SFW. Just have one of your mods be NSFW, break the rules, and then you got to do all these public apology videos and stuff like that. It's disgusting and it's laughable. It really is. They just love to just make jokes about NSFW, but they hate NSFW. I think that comment just speaks for itself. How can you say that you're an SFW community, make NSFW jokes, but yet state that your family? But my brain hurts right now. Like, choose a side. I talked about this with the furries. Choose a side. Are you this or are you this? And it's just like, they do it all the time. I'm telling you, I go to these instances or I join these Discord groups and I hear this stuff all the time. And the voice calls, good, cry me. This is why I don't even like being in voice calls anymore in Discord servers, because it's always the following that happens. Someone's depressed, someone has to vent about their day, someone has to show off and flaunt. Oh, guys, look what I did. Oh, and speaking of which, let me just stop right there. Let me just stop that right there. Because, yeah, that's the stuff that goes on. They love to showcase their art and their animations. Woohoo! Oh, they just love to just show how much better they are than people. Oh, look, I can draw this, and I can do this, and I can animate this, and blah, blah, blah. And only the kind-hearted, sweet souls that are not associated with the streamer, but only a supporter, are the only ones that will actually offer their services and say, let me help you. You think a big-time streamer is going to do that? Ha! No. Now, there is one cartoon VTuber that was actually nice enough to actually offer tutorials, and this was during the time when they were, I think they're She-Day, when, they were pretty much small, and they would offer, like, these, art tutorials and tips and whatnot, and they go by the name of Go Get a Rat, who honestly deserves the partnership and everything. That is an example of a cartoon VTuber that understands how to be SFW suggested, but yet still be for everyone. They get it. These other cartoon VTubers, man, need to take some notes. I'm just being real with you. Like, they need to really take some notes from them. Like, I'm just saying. Honestly, one of my favorite cartoon VTubers ever. Like, they know how to draw the line if something is way too suggestive. And also help people improve on their art. So kudos to Get a Rat. Go check them out. Honestly, they're awesome. But, of course, you got the other ones who just tell you the same old blah, blah. Oh, well, just watch a YouTube video and just do this and me. But they don't actually go in depth and, like, show you, like, hey, this is what you need to do, because everyone learns differently. But, it's not going to stop some people or their friends, because when their friends get on, you got to stop what you're doing. You got to, have your attention at 10 and 2 and watch and observe as they show you their Blender work, their animations. And you got to say, ooh, I love it. And if you dare say you don't like it or have a problem, you better have a degree in animation, or you better have a degree and when it comes to drawing digital arts before you even utter a single word, or you're going to get yourself timed out, mister, because you can't say that, because you're just being a hater. That's not critiquing. You're just saying that it's bad, but you're not, it's just, oh God. You thought the furries having triggers was bad? These cartoon VTubers get angry if you do 3 things. I tested this out. State that how they roleplay is terrible and how they can improve it. State that they don't sound like a certain character. And state that they are a copycat of someone else. Oh, bonus. Tell them that their art needs work. You will be kicked and banned instantly for bullying. Oh, God. You will be kicked and banned instantly. I've seen this with my own eyes. I thought the furries were bad with this, but no, they are the worst. Most of them cannot handle criticism. You can't offer suggestions. You can't tell them, hey, maybe you should change the shading a little bit. You can't do it. Oh, and speaking of a lot about these cartoon VTubers, let's talk about what they like to engage in conversations about. Yeah, they'll do the typical how's your day and everything. But let me tell you something about these cartoon VTubers when it comes to most of their Discord servers. They love to just talk about memes, art, and cartoons. That's all they talk about. Nothing about nature, nothing about maybe a little bit of a news story, nothing about health tips, nothing about it. That's all they talk about is cartoons, art, and memes. You may get lucky, they may talk about video games, and this is fine. These are common topics, but they do it every single time. And it's like, goodness, can you I'm pretty sure that life is bigger than these topics. Are they not? Are they not? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Please tell me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, please let me know if I'm wrong. Because like I'm losing it here. I am actually losing it here. That's all they talk about, and it's just like at first it's fun and you enjoy yourself, but then it just comes to a point where it's like, is there anything else you like to talk about? Anything? Maybe a life motivational tip? Maybe a cool tech tip? And I get it. They're cartoon VTubers, so they should talk about cartoons and video games. But kind of branch out a little bit. And don't you dare say that their favorite movie or cartoon of all time is terrible, because they will give you a long essay as to why your opinion is wrong. Oh boy. They say a movie sucks or anime sucks. You better agree with them or you're getting kicked or banned or you're going to get shunned or publicly humiliated on their stream. Seen it with my own eyes. It's utterly disgusting and ridiculous how they act towards their own fans. Oh, and some of them already got exposed for, certain things. If you already know, you know, you know. And it's honestly pretty unfortunate. Some of them pretty much don't even like working with one another, or they'll definitely talk about behind people's back saying, oh, well, this person did this and this and this. And it's just, oh, goodness gracious. And they also love to attack one another too. So if there is something about a person they just don't like, they will form a team, attack this person, and have that person block them. In the Sonic community, it's pretty there, but in the cartoon community, it's much, much worse. They'll do everything to please their god and goddess. Oh, yeah, if they have an idol or someone that they admire, and they happen to meet this person, they will talk about it like, look, guys, I got this autograph. I got to have lunch with D. Brandon, the voice actor of Blitz. Oh, don't you wish you were me? Oh, I love these people so much when they have to flaunt something that other people obviously would love, but they have to just act like, oh, well, I'm just doing this just to show the community that I got to live one of my lifelong dreams. No, you're just doing this just to show off, and it's not cool. It's great that you want to show this, but there are ways to do this to be more humble. Some cartoon VTubers actually do this as a way to introduce the community, say, hey, I finally got to talk to someone that I looked up to and inspired me, and they gave me these tips, and you should follow these tips too. No, you got the big ones that pretty much always got to show off, be like, oh, look, I met this person and this person. See, when furries do that stuff, they don't do it in a condescending way saying we're bronies. They do it in a way saying, hey, look at how awesome our community is. Cartoon VTubers do it as if, ha ha, I got to meet this actor and you didn't. Ha ha. Like, why? Why act like this? Why act like some impudent child? Like, I get it, but at the same time, it's like, how old are you? Oh, and by the way, most cartoon VTubers are in their 20s. You may find some that are like 30 and 40, but I assure you they're mostly in their 20s that have not grown out of the Disney era. And I understand growing out of the Disney era is tough. I remember when I almost dated someone who was an obsessed Disney fan, right? And I just knew it wouldn't work because all they kept talking to me about was Disney. Disney, Disney, Disney. And they told me, oh, if we ever meet one day, I want you to dress up like a prince. And I was like, you know what? That's cool and all. yeah. While I miss that person because they were, a good bean, I am honestly glad that they found somebody else and they broke it off with me, even though we'd never even dated. So when they said, I was like, "Oh, we were dating." So probably shouldn't have said that, but I didn't know. I was just some 20-year-old that just was like, "Oh wow, someone likes me." So yeah. Well, Wilkins, what else you gotta say about cartoon VTubers? Because it seems like you don't seem to like them very much because of what that one person did to you. Okay, let me make this perfectly clear. I love cartoon VTubers. I love how creative they are. I love the conversations they have with their chat and how it's more interactive. I definitely love how of their extensive knowledge of cartoons and art, and especially how they're able to come up with some of the funniest memes out there. So much so to the point that they pretty much, you know, take some inspiration from furries and bronies and whatnot. So I think that's pretty cool, you know. And I love the cartoon VTubers that are willing to be accepting and loving of other communities despite, you know, what goes on in those communities. And they pretty much try their best to, you know, show their support. I have seen cartoon VTubers who have helped, you know, furries and bronies, you know, in their time of need. You know, like, hey, you know, this well known person really needs some help and support, or they're a big fan of this voice actor or whatnot. And they'll go out of their way to do something nice for them. See, those are the ones that I like. You know, and trust me, I love having conversations about murder drones and SMG4 and, you know, the Amazing Digital Circus and old school cartoons. But if that is all you want to talk to me about, I'm gonna be a little bit concerned about you because I get it. And I understand that they're mostly 20-year-olds or some that are like 18 and 19. But it's like it comes at a point where it's like you gotta grow up and just learn to branch out of that. I promise you, if you talk about something else besides cartoons for just 10 minutes, you will be amazed at who truly cares about you as the person versus who cares about you as the character. And this is the scariest reason and gripe. See, I say a lot of positives there. They always act like a character. Whether it be in VR chat, Discord, or whatnot, you will never know who these people actually are. They are in character 24/7. In character, but they're only in character when they need to be. But in the announcements, oh, they're super serious. You know, oh, this is the real me, and this is what happens. But on Discord, they are the character. And this is dangerous, especially when you are dealing with minors, because they cannot differentiate between the two of the character and the real person. So when you deal with someone DMing you and they're saying stuff like, oh, I have a crush on you, or, oh, you know, I think you're super awesome, I love this, it can get pretty obnoxious and pretty much get you into some pretty iffy situations. So I do respect the fact that they have a whole no minors are allowed to interact with me rule. That's smart, especially in DMs, and everyone's pretty much been implementing that. But if you're for everyone, and let's just say you're talking to someone that's like 16, 17, and they're just being nice and they just want to say, hey, have a good day, or hey, I just want to let you know I'm graduating and stuff like that. So it's like you can't close yourself off completely to your community. And that's another big issue that I have with big streamers. I could literally do a whole 1 hour video of all my gripes I have with big streamers and how they need to just get over themselves. But that will be probably for when I actually retire from streaming and when I actually have like, you know, other streamers that are willing to work with me on this. So it's not just like, oh, you're just stating your opinion. That's it. Even though I'm stating opinions, I'm also mostly stating facts because from the feedback that I got from the furry, you know, like me as a furry speaking out, you know, stream, I got a lot of positive reception. So that tells you right there that they also are dealing with this type of nonsense as well. They like the community, but they're like, oh my goodness, it's always this person and this person that just makes us look bad. And I would agree. So wait, going on back to the topic bronies. Who's the big brony streamer then? Huh. Do we even have a big brony streamer that's like at the top of the food chain? I know the furry community does, and we all know what his name is, but it's like the brony community, like, huh. I don't think we have that. And I think it should stay that way. Just saying. Then of course the cartoon VTubers, unfortunately, they have top, you know, streamers, and you know, You already know a couple of them. I'll go ahead and name drop one that everyone loves to pieces. Big Nose Bug. Everyone knows this person. I talked with this person maybe one time in the Discord, and they pretty much keep to themselves. So I honestly ain't got nothing against them at all. So go check them out. And you already know who they are anyway, so you may even find them on VR chat. So it's just that. Cartoon VTubers, man, they have these egos that are just unreal. You need to check out the rules in their discords and their VR groups. You want to laugh? Get a load of some of these rules. And these rules will blow you away. And their mods, most of them are terrible and just downright inhumane in how they treat people and minors, especially minors who just are not even doing anything. They're just minding their own business. It's like, wow, the disrespect is unreal. And if you dare even try to say anything, you are gonna get banned from almost every single other cartoon streamer that's associated with said person. It's just, why do we act like this? We are grown adults acting worse than children because, oh, you're not like us. Also, here's another thing, a great dive with the cartoon VTubers. They follow the school hierarchy. Oh, here's the goths, here's the popular kids, here's this. And let's just be real, we all pretty much are guilty of this, but I was the one that pretty much was like the outcast that fights against all of these groups, stating that you could be like one of them, or like pretty much mostly all of them, just as long as you're not fully a part of set groups. And I was admired by that when I graduated. They was like, wow, you just stood true to who you were. You had your own group, your own, your own self, your own identity, man. I admire that. But these cartoon VTubers, it's just like high school. Here's the popular VTubers, cartoon VTubers. Here's the non-pop. Here's the upcoming one. Here's the goths. Here's the nerds. Here's the ones that only talk about video games. It's disgusting. Cartoon VTubers. If I told the rest of these groups that they just need to, do better, I'm going to tell y'all to grow up. Yeah, y'all will probably be the only community that I would say y'all need to grow up. I love Disney, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, Disney XD, indie cartoons and whatnot. But this ego that you all have and this hatred for furries and bronies is just disgusting. And the way how y'all treat people outside of y'all streams is even more disgusting. I'll never forget the one time where I didn't do anything and I was told to join this Discord. I joined the voice call and apparently I didn't know I was supposed to do it and I got muted. And the streamer announced that they muted me. And I barely could hear them because, the tech at the time wasn't all that great. I didn't do anything. I just wanted to say hi. But apparently I wasn't part of the Cool Kids Club. Like I said, man, these big streamers that you see, that y'all, root for, say hurrah, hurrah. Never forget that there's a long list of people that they probably hurt and banned for no reason. Or they have some of the silliest reasons out there. Me personally, if I ever do anything wrong to a person, I will always apologize and admit that I did it. And I will want that person to come to my face and tell me they have a problem with me versus holding a grudge against me or whatnot, trying to spread some rumors. I just nip it in the bud immediately. You have a problem with me, you talk to me about it. That's just how I am. But yeah, that's just the unfortunate reality of cartoon VTubers. Will they ever grow up? Hopefully they do. But man, that's just the typical interaction. And if you don't believe me, go meet some of these folks in these VR worlds in their own groups. Just listen to them. Just listen how they talk. Now, you may find some good ones that are sweet and down to earth. Watch out for some of those people because behind closed doors, when that camera's not on or when they're not hosting a group instance, they will show you just how sweet and innocent they are. Personal experience. You will be blown away and shocked at how despicable they can act and how they can be. And oh, don't let them know that you know what they are mostly into, because I can't let my community know this. It'll ruin my reputation. Oh God, I thought the furries were bad with this. So there you go. Love the cartoon VTubers still, despite my pretty much awful experience with them, especially with the one that's now a big VTuber. But other than that, I still support them. I still share their streams. And I really hope that I can meet more of them that can give me a more positive experience. I get that furries and bronies have their issues, but you cartoon VTubers, I just pointed out a list of them. And that's not even half of the gripes that I have. I'm just being nice here. The list is way too long. I can go on and on about how y'all take role plays way too seriously, how you would kick people out of groups for the silliest of reasons, how you're too stingent on your rules. I mean, it's just, and how you make fun of other artists. It's just, oh, goodness gracious. I don't even want to think about the list. I would say this list is longer than the furries and the bronies combined list of gripes. But again, the positives for all of these communities will always outweigh the gripes and cons. I'm just stating my experience. Now, on the positive side, I have met a lot of awesome people that have shown me love and care. Heck, some that's even helped me out of some tough situations. Some that I even helped out of tough situations. Maybe not to the fullest of my abilities, because I'm not, Elon Musk or anyone that you could think of that's rich, like, I don't know, like a Michael B. Jordan or something. But I was able to do my part. You know what I mean? And I don't go bragging about, say, I did my part. No. No. Well, what can cartoon VTubers do to do better? No, it's not do better, because they do that already. It's just to grow up. Help people with their art. A lot of people know how to draw an anime. Maybe hold sessions where you can teach people how to draw, how to animate, like Bogetta Rat does. Why don't you take some notes from that individual? Teach people so they can be more in tune and intrigued with these cartoons, so they don't just find them as off-putting, weird, or woke. Introduce them to different cultures. Instead of just, oh, look what I can do and here's my character. Have a day where you teach them about, hey, this is what the old cartoons were like, or this is what the new cartoons were like, and this is what the styles would look like if they were combined together and done correctly. Talk about some discussions that you pretty much are in love with, that you pretty much are fine in tune with you and your community. Something that everyone could be like, oh wow, I didn't know you were like this. I've met some cartoon VTubers that do this, and they are all some of my favorites. Unfortunately, they quit VTubing because, well, it wasn't paying the bills, which stinks. I'm just saying, I feel like they could do a lot more than just this, just role play and talk about cartoons. And biggest gripe, I just realized it now, trying to be like those they idolize. Stop. And I say this to every cartoon YouTuber, VTuber. Stop trying to be like someone else and just be yourself. You have the artistic talent, you have the animation skills. Why not add on to the legacy of indie cartoons instead of trying to be, like the ones that you idolize? SMG4, I have a big bone to pick with him for the one reason, which is this: constantly always relying on Mario. Why not just make something where Mario's just not involved? Make one episode where it's just your characters and nothing else. Now, if I remember correctly, in the latest SMG4 movie, he actually did that where Mario was not mentioned. So that's good. That's a fresh start. Although I really don't like what they did to the new character, how they villainized him, and of course, towards the end, spoiler, oh, Mr. Puzzles and, apparently Karen's dad, they're now friends and partners. And it's just like, ugh. It's like, why? But anyway, be different. Do different, okay? And just Be the example. Oh, all right? Be the example. You do not have to be like the big cartoon streamers. You have to be you. People follow you because of you. They don't follow you because you're trying to be like the next Has-Been Hotel or Hell of a Boss or the next Murder Drones or the next, Laxacy or the next Saber Spark. You need to be yourself. So that way more people will want to, follow your content. That's just all I got to say about that. All in all, cartoon VTubers need to grow up. I admire the ones that do follow me and whatnot. And if you got upset or if you got your feelings hurt or if you pretty much have an idea who I'm talking about, do not state it to me. Do not state their name because the only thing I'm going to tell you is I have no ill will towards them. Follow them. Go check them out. Sub to them because you want to know why? Because I have no enemies. I follow this line of peace because life is way too unpredictable and you never know when you're actually going to probably end up meeting these people IRL. Trust me. Oh, here's another funny thing that I noticed, and this applies to even the bronies, furries, and even the cartoon VTubers, and they're guilty of this. They will play amnesia with you when the camera's on their face and you're at a big event and you happen to meet them IRL. They will act like, oh, hey, how are you? Even though they know that you are this particular VTuber and they blocked you for this silly reason or try to spread rumors about you that's not true, they will act like, oh, wow, I've never met you in my entire life. Don't let them do that to you, okay? Just don't. I'm just telling you that right now. Don't let them treat you like that. Don't let them feel like, oh yeah, I did that. We just didn't see. No. If you ever have the chance to like state in a professional manner how that made you feel in 3 ways and just walk away, that's going to help them to grow up. They need to grow up. They need a reality check. They need to understand that what they do can affect others in the long run. You think that it's just a simple block or a simple kick, but when you don't give people that satisfaction to at least explain themselves and you just give them the cold shoulder, that's how you make enemies. Don't do that, okay? Don't let your arrogance, your ego, and the fact that you can draw better, animate better than people stop you from being, a decent human being. I think that's all I really want to say. Other than that, they're pretty awesome. I freaking, love being around them, and they definitely give me some good laughs. I just wish they would just expand just a little bit more. And to the Sonic community, please just be your own character. I am tired of every time I go into these communities and I gotta be my own version of this character and this character. Can we get some Freedom Planet VTubers then? I would freaking love that. And that's where we're going then. How about we get some, some cartoon characters that we haven't seen in a while? Like, and I get why they can't do this because, copyright. Just focus on the indie side. Listen, there's so many indie characters, right? That barely have the time of day. Like a Matt Mullet Jack, VTuber model would be pretty cool, I don't know, a Jack Kamen or even though I don't like this character, the Travis Touchdown, character would be cool, It's just, maybe you could make it to you like your own little OC, Sin City, or graphic novels, a Cassie, hack and slash, stuff like that. No? Okay. All right. Also, can y'all please stop praising Nintendo? It's been 10 years, and I think at this point, the praising of Nintendo is starting to run thin. Most of y'all love Nintendo, and y'all really need to learn to just kind of give them a break. If you love Nintendo, you'll let them go, let them fumble, let them fall, let them fail, so they can actually do better by the community. I'm just saying. I love cartoons. I'm passionate about them. I actually want to make my own cartoon one day or graphic novel or anime. But I just got to say this, man. I just got to. Now, you probably wonder, why did you exclude the anime community? Because we already lost 2 godfathers of anime, and I'm trying to keep peace and just say, you know what? No. I'm not going to. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna go there. I'm just not. I want people to just pay the respects to Akira Toriyama and whatnot, and in peace. I'm just gonna leave them alone. I do have things I need to say, but it's honestly very short. It's honestly not that bad. And of course, when it comes to cartoon VTubers, oh, the shippings. Oh God, the shippings. Stop with the shippings, but I feel like everyone's already talked about that. But again, that's subjective. As long as it's not with a child, who cares, right? But at the same time, when you're pushing, shipping or trying to ship other VTubers, without consent, that's not cool. Please stop doing that, please. So, yeah. Should I also put the V Shoujo Hololive VTubers in this category? Nah, I'll put them under the big time, streamers. So, yeah. Anyway, whew. That's all I pretty much gotta say. I feel better that I got this off my chest. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, but gotta be careful, what you say and how you say it because you could ruffle some feathers and ruin opportunities in the future. So yeah, what did you think, about this whole four-parter, three-parter series of my streams? Did I go too far? Was I wrong? My DMs are open. Just tell me. Am I wrong? Am I right? I don't know. Just tell me. I'm just simply just talking about my experience. And despite all what I went through, most of my experiences have been positive. Absolutely positive. And I wish cartoon VTubers would honestly give virality a chance. I wish they would give, certain furry and brony events a chance and stop just, oh, they're all the same. Like, oh, by the way, funny thing that happened to me. I went to a Scott Pilgrim World, just my own business, and I got kicked because I was a brony. Yeah, that group doesn't exist anymore. I wonder why. Anyway, so keep up the good work with your art, but learn to be more humane to people just in general. Whether they are not a cartoon enthusiast or not, it should not give you the right to just treat people any old kind of way. Pretty much common sense, but and it's honestly really sad that you have to remind big streamers this too, because that's just what happens when you have egos. You just forget. So there you go. That's all I gotta say. And skibbity boppity beat that billy boppity boo. Well, that was a lot. So I want to make this perfectly clear. I have no vendetta against
Any group that I talked about this week, not the furries, not the bronies, not even the cartoon streamers. Heck, I am literally a fan of all of them. I have been for over, a couple of decades. But if you want things to get better, you just have to be honest. And trust in what I say, it it pained me to have to, state all of that. But if I'm not honest, I'm doing a disjustice. Sorry, I said disjustice. I'm doing an injustice to myself. So that's pretty much it. Do you all have any questions, comments, concerns? Also, my food is technically here. That's insane. Wow. Not gonna say time went by fast, but whew, determination. I love it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. This concludes, my stream. So real quick, let's go ahead and get rid of all of this if it's possible. Give me a sec. Whoops. Whoops. Ah. No, y'all saw nothing. You saw nothing. Love you, OBS. Love you. Okay, so real quickly, man, really, I love technology so much. Wait. Give me a sec. Oh, here it is. Found it. Okay, here we go. So, see all of this? I actually want to go over all of these news stories. So this one, this one, this one, this one, and definitely this one. This one most importantly. So let me just check and see if there's any more news stories related to this because this has been the biggest talk of this page. We should definitely go over that too. Gotta love the fight game community. Am I right? But yeah, maybe later on, or maybe in a little bit. Just let me eat something real quick. We can go over all of this because there's a lot to unpack here, and it's honestly very, very funny, especially with like the reactions of the fans. But I feel like what I'll do is I'll just take a little break and then I'll do that because again, my time's pretty limited on how long I'll be online. Because I gotta deal with the doctor. The doctor tells me I'm not feeling good, and I gotta take my meds, and I gotta take my meds. So, anywho, be safe, take care. Thanks for stopping by, and